Hello teachers, this is the instructional guide for primary 3 term 1 week 10. For this week there are 3 booklets again. They'll be doing multiplication and division by 8 and then multiplication by 9. So let's start with the first booklet, multiplication by 8. So many of them, they thought they may have not learned it, but actually they do. So we have really done, in the past they have done 2 times table, 3 times table, 4 times table, 5, 6, and 7. So all you need to tell them that actually, right, they have learned more than half of the times table that is required for 8 times table, right? So for example, they have already learned 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is 56, right? So 8 times table, right, would be one more group in addition to 7 of 8, right? And then 9 will be one more group of 7 in addition to 8 times 8, right? So it's plus 8 plus 8. So it's actually quite easy. It's more about memorization. And if they have forgotten, right, always go back to the basics. All right, 6 times 8 is 48. 7 times 8 will be plus 8, right? So 56 now and so on. Okay, so not much of a big issue. And then I'm going to skip some, let's see, what is 8 times 8? Okay, so I think good to explain this a bit, right? So another way of getting there, remember. So what is 8 times 8? 8 times 8 is actually the same as 8 times, let me write it out. Oh dear. I just realized one thing. I think PDF Dropbox is no longer free of charge, and they are trying to yeah, oh no, the pen is they're making it. Oh dear. Looks like I've got to find out okay, anyway, I'm just going to continue the lesson. Seems that PDF Dropbox is no longer free of charge. So yeah. So I think for here, what you got to emphasize to them, right, is 8 times 4 is the same as 8 plus, sorry, 8 times 8 is the same as 8 times 4 plus 8 times 4, right? So think of 8 as splitting into 2, right? 4 plus 4. Okay. And then after that, I will say skip some of these questions. I don't really need you to teach them this. Can be quite complex. Perhaps just go straight to the point. So for example, yeah, do question, I see. Okay, I think let's just do the guided practice quickly, right? So 8 times 4 here is the same as 4 times 8. All right, so take them through this. 3 times 8 is the same as 8 times 3. And then after that, 2a, 7 times 8. 7 times 8 is 16 more than 5 times 8. Why? Because 7 times 8 is 2 more groups, right? More than 5 times 8, right? So they should know that. Let's see, what is 8 times 8, right? So if they remember 10 times 8, 80. 8 times 8 is 2 groups less. So it'll be 80 minus 16 because 2 times 8 is 16. Okay. Then get them to do 3 and 4 for guided practice. And after that, I would say we can do less of this question and just go straight on to maybe page 11. Okay, get them to complete. All right, make sure that they got the times table correct. Okay, so again, remind them, right? Actually, up to 6 should be quite easy. They have already learned it in the past. Okay. Okay, and then after that, I would see get them to do two word problems in class, and the rest we will assign as homework. All right. So, but perhaps right before the end of the class, we can just go to question. Go to page 23. All right, and then they can do 18a. All right. So something like that, and D. And then the last part here, 15 times 8, right? So this is where you can teach them again. What is 15 times 8? So you can actually split it up. 15 times 8 is 10 times 8 plus 5 times 8. 10 times 8 is 80. 5 times 8 is 40. So add together, 120. Okay, and we're done for this booklet. Okay, the next book we're going to do is dividing by 8. I think they're very aware of the concept of dividing by 8 already, right? So we can skip some of these questions here and just get them to do the guided practice, right? So what is 15 divided by 8? They can use multiplication to help them, right? 8 times which number will give you 56, or if they rely on picture, that can be done as well, right? 56 divided by 8. So each group has 8. There are in total 7 groups. All right, so a few ways for them to do it. If they rely on picture, that's fine. But I think eventually we should move them all these images, the pictures. So as long as they remember the multiplication fact family, right, that should be fine. Okay, so get them to do all the guided practice. And then after that, we will skip some of these questions here and just do 3A. All right, for them to identify the fact family in these triangles. This is to enable them to do pattern recognition, right, in those kind of heuristics or math Olympiad questions later. All right, so what's the relationship between this? Multiplication, 3 times 8 equals 24. All right, 8 times 3 equals 24. 28, 24 divided by 8 equals 3. 24 divided by 3 equals 8. Right, so just one question is fine. Then get them to complete this multiplication and division fact family, or somewhat like that, right? Page 4. Okay, and then I would say get them to do questions 7 and 8, right, as practice. And then perhaps one of these questions here, right, you can, up to you to pick, right, C, and then we're done for this booklet. All right, so quite fast. Let's move on to the last one. The last one would be multiplication by 9. So same thing, reinforce the idea on them that if they have learned up to 8 times table, 9 shouldn't be issue, right? 9 times table shouldn't be issue because it's just adding one group of 9 more, right? So the idea is that, okay? And teach them this method. I'm not sure whether you are familiar with this method, right? So if you're not sure, you can always ask me. So this is a very quick way of learning 9. I think some of them already know it, right? For those who do not know, right, you might want to go through with them, right? Show them how you do it, right? More with the fingers and so on, right? Now 9 multiplication. So typically this is quite easy, and I'm going to skip all these questions here and just move on to, for guided practice, just do the word problems, okay? And then get them to fill up this multiplication by 9 times table in class, okay? And after that, get them to do a few word problems again, 7 and 8 on their own, right? And the rest, or maybe let's do it differently, right? Let's just do 13. Okay, for this one, let's just do 13. Okay, there's part A and B, and once they're done, I think the rest is quite easy. I think all these questions, yeah, yeah, it should be quite easy, right? If there's time, you can just pick a few questions for them, maybe one of this second one. But otherwise, I think it's quite straightforward for this week's lesson. That's it. Thank you very much. For now, I got to find a new platform that allows us to use the draw or annotation so-called software free of charge. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.